Hello everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of our Trinity Tim for the week, where our topic this week is actually on being employee focused. And on Tuesday's video, I kind of broke into how we are to make sure that our infrastructure is specific, to make sure that when we put people in place, we have specific SOPs that are like comprehensive, really able to get our employees in the mindset of what that function is for the business at that time, right? So just to recap, the way you want your company to run comes from you. It is your vision. It's your way of seeing your company. Like with Trinity Professional Group, the way I want my front desk person to be, the way I want my associates to be, how I choose to promote my associates, how I choose to handle portfolios of clients that I gain, how I choose to continue working with those clients and get new contracts after that. All of it depends on me, which is why being specific is required, because I don't have someone with me here building at this time. I don't have someone pouring their ideas into it, and I kind of have that back and forth with them to speak on how we want things to go, right? To have that extra perspective. So because I'm here, it's in my mind, but I need to be able to communicate it to the people who I'm going to hire. I need to be able to communicate it to my front desk on how I want him or her to approach my clients when they walk in the door. I need to be able to convey to my associates or my junior associates or my junior executives how I expect them to handle our clients, how I expect their portfolios to be handled, the timeline with which I expect them to respond. I want that specific customer to be invoiced on 60 days. If I want this one to be invoiced on 90 days, right? There's so much that goes into business. Business is full of minutia, but that minutia ends up becoming your infrastructure. And to have a properly running company, you need your infrastructure tight. I say it all the time. But we see this in areas like Yellow, the trucking company, right? The company was super profitable. They were pouring into their employees' 401k. They had multiple loads. They had big contracts. They had government contracts. They had thousands of employees. But somehow this company went out of business when trucking is on the rise for everyone. Make it make sense. It was an infrastructure issue. Somewhere in the company, we were either hemorrhaging money, somebody wasn't doing their job properly, somebody didn't evolve with the company, somebody made a decision that wasn't at the best interest of the entire company, right? So there's so many things that when you are a CEO or when you are an executive, it's not, don't micromanage people, but the good of the company is always at the forefront of our decisions. The good of the company is always at the forefront of who we hire, who we present to the world to represent our company, right? So, like I said, that minutia, all of the little pieces come together and form your company. And regardless of if you are now an entrepreneur or if you're at the place of a sweet spot of being a medium-sized company where you are kind of moving more so into your CEO mode, that's amazing. But what you need to do at this time is remain specific on what it is your company set out to do. Remain specific on the functions that need to be done to get that, initial dream achieved or get that initial goal achieved. And then in being specific, you hire people or promote people according to their ability to either excel in a specific function or their ability to learn multiple functions and continue to excel and grow with the company, right? Okay. So that's my comprehensive of what this week's topic is truly about. So, like I said, we got our infrastructure, and when we put people to the infrastructure, this is how we get our SOPs. I need to be able to take from all of my specifics and put general instructions into place for my people to follow, right? Now, when these instructions are given, I need them to be specific. I need to know that, okay, we move from the left side of the warehouse to the right. By picking this item, we put the heaviest at the bottom, then we move to the light items, right? So I need to be specific in my instructions, not just build this box and ship it out. That's not specific. It's simple to you because you're the one who started the product line. You're the one who started the company. But to them coming in anew, they need that information. And this is why your infrastructure being specific is so important, because once you're at a place where you have employees, of course, you're going to need managers to help with those employees because you can't be there to train everyone. So the tighter your infrastructure is from the beginning, the less mistakes you'll have as more people trickle in, because they're going to have their own subset of muscle memory, right? at their old job, they built pallets a certain way. At their old job, they built boxes a certain way. So now that they're coming to your way, they have to detox those ways of being. They have to detox that muscle memory. So in order for them to detox and come into your way, your infrastructure and your SOPs need to be specific so they know how to do it your way in order to get to the max efficiency that you're setting for when you created your infrastructure. So we have our infrastructure, we put people to our SOPs. Now these people to the SOPs generate KPIs. In generating KPIs, this provides us with a standard that we set for productivity for our company, right? So this is where having an employee who is insanely functional, they come in, they build the boxes, they build the pallets or whatever it is, and you can always count on them. They're great at their function. They're great. This person may be good to be a motivator, but they may not be good to be a supervisor. They may not be good to be a manager. They may not be good to sit on my board or help me with more operational aspirations or accounting aspirations, right? So what this is called is Pareto. You don't want to Pareto someone out just because they're good at one thing. And so when you have an employee who is good at their function or even excelling in their function, maybe not quite as good as the person who is a more functional employee, but you have someone who can excel, and then they can take that excelling and connect the dots when they go to another area. They can connect the dots when they move to another side of the company, or they can connect the dots of if they do packaging, but now you've put them on receiving. They can see why the products need to come in a certain way. They can see why the trucks have to come at a certain time, right? So they can kind of piece things together. Those are your growing employees. These are your growers. And you have to look out for these people because they're the ones who are going to help your company grow as well. Their mind is more so conditioned to the totality as opposed to just being right here. You say, I need to pack boxes there. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. But there's so much going on around them that they're missing for a functional employee that a growing employee would notice and put together to make sure that you become even more efficient because they're right there in the, elbow grease of it. They're right there in there, making everything happen, making everything grow, the boom and bust of it all. They're right there. So if you have a functional employee who's doing great, and then you have a grower who works right next to them, this is perfect. The grower is the one that you want in supervisory. Your grower is the one that you want in management. Your grower is the one who may even end up being operations with you, because in being operational, they know that there's a set flow and how the company runs, what we're supposed to do, or even if it's service-based, how we're supposed to get the clients in, what we should say to the clients, right? They're more objective than subjective. Your functional employee is subjective. They're focused on this box and that's it. But your growing employee is the one who's more objective. It can see everything sliding and it can see everything coming together. So in not wanting that functional employee to Pareto out, you have to look at certain characteristics. You have to go by their KPIs and how they excel. And if you choose to move them to a certain area, how long is their learning curve until they learn that new function? How long is it before they can be a contributor to my KPIs like they were in their original function, right? So there are so many things that you have to look at, whereas with a grower, they will exceed at every area you place them in because they get the concept. They understand the end goal. Not just what they're doing now, they understand the end goal. So they may find a new way to do a certain process. They may find a new way to build a pallet, but it's because the end goal matters more, because that's how they see, that's how they look. And when you have supervisors in position, it is crucial that they understand we are all here to grow. So they can't be threatened by someone who is more of a grower. They can't be threatened by someone who is beyond just the functionality. And they also can't suppress someone who's functional and could be excelling as well. So you have to have leadership in place who are able to see the good in the employees, help them develop, help them grow, because they could be training their replacement, right? As the company grows, as everybody grows, as everybody's KPIs excel, there's so much room for growth and there's so much room for stretching. But you don't want to leave holes in your business when you grow either, because this could cause you to end up plummeting right back down where you were, or worse, right? So we've set up all of this infrastructure. We've got our SOPs and instructions for our employees. Our SOPs have now generated KPIs from our functions. And then now we also have those growing employees who can see the totality of the business and the growth and the KPIs, and also help you plan for a growing future, right? All right. Again, my name is Fredrina with Trinity Professional Group. I know I kind of ran through this last one, but it was so much information. I will be having a live on Friday, so I may recap on some of this. Y'all have a great night. Get my book, The Conscious Leader. Thank you so much.